Hello! It's been a while since I've just chatted to you, but I feel like I've got some time to tell you about everything I've been up to in the last week or so. I was meant to be going to a dance class this evening, and by meant to, I mean I decided I would probably go, and then I decided I didn't really want to. And there are two reasons for that. Number one is that I read a bit more about the class, and it actually looks like it's more beginner level than I am for this particular style and genre. And number two is that I found out my mum would be home for supper, and if I came home when I finished work, we would be able to all have supper together, and I just thought that was really nice. And actually number three is that we have been out every night since my mum came, and we will be out for the next few nights every night. So I'm happy to just have one night where I can catch up on some admin things and some YouTube things and some life things, like, you know, all my tracking of everything. So it's just nice. It's just nice. Let me go through the days. I have no idea. I probably haven't spoken to you at all since my mum came, which was Friday. So we were very much up in the air about what was going to happen, if I was going to meet my mum in town or if I was going to meet her at home, depending on when I finished work and depending on how quickly she got through the airport. And then I was delayed at work, so I thought, no chance. And then my mum's flight was delayed by quite a bit, and I was very sorry for her, but it meant that I did get to meet her in town, and actually in the end I was earlier than her. But overall we were home much later than either of us had intended to be. But of course, it was so lovely seeing my mum, and it's like 2 months. 2 months is a nice amount of time. Well, no, I'd rather it be no time at all, but if I need to pick an amount of time that I don't get to see my mum and then regularly get to see her, if it was every 2 months, I think I could handle that. I mean, I handle whatever we're doing the rest of the time, but I don't like it. And so we took the train, and we just had a short chat on there, but it actually was a much quicker journey than we were expecting, and we were trying to get so much information into a very short amount of time. So definitely didn't finish our conversation there. But then we met up with my aunt, who came to pick us up, and my grandma, and it was all lovely and it was great. And then it was Friday night, so we made Shabbat, because by the time we got home it was almost Shabbat already. Not quite, I think it was about an hour or two, because Shabbat comes in really late now, but still. Then on Saturday we had something happen, so we were all a bit delayed in the morning, but then we went for lunch to my great aunt and uncle, which was really lovely, and there we also had some other family members pop in sort of after lunch, and it was all just really, really nice, really pleasurable, lovely weather. Well, no, it was meant to be a lovely day, but it was actually a bit overcast. It was still warm enough, but it was not as nice as the rest of the week has been. And then we came home, and I think some of my mum's friends came round for tea, which was really lovely. I mean, I spent a lot of time in my room as well, and then they called me when it was time for tea, and then I went back to my room, which I enjoyed. So that was Saturday. Don't think we did much Saturday night. Then on Sunday was West End Live Day. I love West End Live. This is now the second time I've been. The only other time was back in 2019, and I loved it then. And I stayed the whole day, and I got there early, so I was fairly close to the front. Not totally, but fairly close. And it had been 5 years. Is that right? 5 years since I'd been. And we were a little bit late because we got a little bit lost because my Google Maps doesn't work for some reason. But we got there, and we walked up. You would have seen this earlier on in the video probably, but we walked up whilst Heathers was on, and to this day, despite it being one of my favourite musicals and one of my dream roles to play Veronica, I've not seen Heathers live. And despite the fact that it's been in London multiple times in the last 5 years. Catch that musical reference? So I can't explain what happened to me as we were walking up, and I think it was Big Fun, and I genuinely teared up. Who tears up at Big Fun? But it was just because I was seeing them have fun on stage and performing and seeing, you know, the actual Heathers costumes and everything. You know, I've watched some of it in Carrie Hope Fletcher's vlog back in the day, and I'm very obsessed with the musical, shall we say, and just seeing it live it just hit me. It really, really hit me. And it was also, I think, that slight part of me, I think I spoke about this few vlogs ago, about seeing a cast announcement and then not even having had the chance to audition for it. And I think part of it was probably that feeling of like, oh, I want to be in that cast so bad. So anyway, we were kind of settling in during Big Fun and I Say No and whatever other Heather songs there were that kind of happened at that time. So we didn't get a full experience of it as much as the other shows, but I was so happy to get to experience it. And we had a pretty good view. We were quite far back, but we got in without a problem. We didn't have to wait in line, which I could not believe. And we could see the whole stage more or less, depending on the people in front of us, if they moved or whatever. But on the whole, it was pretty good. And then it was just show after show of amazingness. Actually, not all of them were incredible. Some were better than others, but I just loved it. And it was so nice to share it with my mum as well. Like, it was just so lovely. It was very hot. And as you can see, I got very burnt. But as you can probably see, I only got burnt there. And the reason for that is that I did put on sun cream because I was clever and I know that the sun burns. But then I changed what I was wearing because I thought it was going to be too hot. So I wore something thicker first and then I went to thin straps. And that's how that happened. But anyway, we went to West End Live, and what else was so exciting about it is that this is now, it's been 5 years since I last went, but I went and I knew people on that stage. Like, I was friendly with them and I've spoken to them, not all of them obviously, but individuals here and there. One of them who I didn't actually get to see because we went off somewhere, but one of them who was performing on the Sunday was my teacher. Like, insane. And it feels so real then. It makes you feel like, oh my goodness, these are just my friends. And that could be me next year, I hope. And it's so nice to actually feel like I belong in this industry, I suppose, by seeing that I do know people in this industry. It's weird. It's really weird. But anyway, then we went to Mary Curie just before 3. Because we wanted to see something on Sunday, and we were really hoping to see Standing at the Sky's Edge, because I've heard amazing things about it, and I've heard that it's very, I don't know what the right way, it's got family themes in it, so I thought my mum would probably like it as well, and I've still not seen it, and it is on my bucket list, and it closes in about 6 weeks. But we already had plans on Sunday night, so we just wouldn't have made it in time, but oh well. So instead, we decided to go for rush tickets to Mary Curie. We weren't sure. We were choosing, I think, between that and one other. And I think the deciding factor in the end was that Mary Curie was such a short, limited run. Or maybe it was the rush tickets, or maybe it was the fact that I knew someone in the cast. I don't know. I can't remember what the deciding factor was, but we went to see it. And it was really good. I knew very little about Mary Curie, and I don't know what the word is, like historical, it's not fiction, but just historical shows and books and movies and everything. Like, I like history and I like powerful women, obviously. So I really enjoyed learning about her story and seeing the story, and obviously seeing someone I know in the cast was very cool. And the cast, all of them were phenomenal, very talented. I loved the set, I loved the lighting, there was so much about it I really, really enjoyed. We had pretty good seats as well. The only thing both my mum and I said was that it probably would have been a more powerful piece had it been a play. Obviously it would have to be well written as a play, and the songs were fine, but I just didn't feel, and I don't think my mum felt, like they added anything, and not that they detracted, but they just weren't necessary, I would maybe argue, and I feel like it probably could have been stronger as a play, but I don't know. But in general, I thought the plot was very good, very strong, everything all round. And then, as I said, Sunday night we already had plans to do a big family thing because it was both of my cousins' birthdays back in May, and it was a celebration for them, and that was really lovely as well. And I got to see a cousin who I haven't seen since Spain, so that was nice. It was all just lovely. And then Monday, what happened on Monday? I think in the morning we went to get our nails done. And I really like this colour. I picked it out and then I was hesitating for a long time, and my mum said no, stick with it, because I was looking for other colours. And the reason why I went for this is because I think it will go quite well with my graduation dress, which is the whole reason why we did the nails in the first place. On my toes I've got like a dark blue purpley colour, and it's gorgeous, it's really nice. But what I love about this is it's sparkly, I don't know if you can see, but the colour is so beautiful. It is mermaidy and I love it. I want you to see it. Can you see it? Will it focus? Can you see that? And it's shimmery and it's got these dark blue sparkles. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just beautiful. I keep looking at them. It's not often that I look at my nails when I get them done. I don't mind getting my nails done, but I don't love it usually, or I don't know. It's never a priority for me, and yet I'm just obsessed with my mermaidy nails. And I do think they'll go really nicely with my dress, which is not a white dress, and therefore will be much better than my normal graduation, which is a video I've just uploaded, so you can enjoy that. So that was the morning, and then before that, we went for breakfast with my grandma, which was nice. I can't remember. I don't think it was amazing, but I think it was okay. And then we went to town, and we took this new Uber boat, which I have seen on the Thames a few times already, but I had no idea what it was and didn't understand how it worked. I thought it was like, you know, an Uber car, but no, it's not. It's basically replaced the riverboats that were on the, I don't know if they were on the TfL, but they were definitely like with your Oyster. I don't know. It was not quite what I was expecting, or my mum, but it was still nice. It was really lovely. We just went up the Thames or down the Thames, whichever way it was, and ended up at Canary Wharf, which was really nice. And it was just so peaceful. We were there probably around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I don't know. And it was so quiet and peaceful and green and lovely. And we just walked around and it was just really nice. Warm though, very warm, but a lovely wander. And again, we had a chance to chat, so that was really nice as well. And then after that, we met up with my cousin and some other family members who work at the Paddington Experience. My cousin doesn't, but the other family members do. And because they work there, they could give us a little tour around the area, the building, whatever it's called. And unfortunately, we couldn't film too much for, you know, understandably, but it was gorgeous. I thought it would be okay. I thought it'd be nice. I didn't expect it to blow me away as much as it did. Everywhere we stepped, I was like, this is magical. And I'm not even the biggest Paddington fan. Like, if it had been Winnie the Pooh, that would have been different. I probably would have just burst into tears. But considering I'm not even that familiar with Paddington, obviously I know Paddington Bear, but still, despite that, I still loved it. And that was without the whole experience. That was just being, you know, sort of a background tour, so to speak. So I would just really recommend it as something to do in London. And I'm not just saying that because I've got family that work there. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was great and beautifully done. Yeah, absolutely recommend it. And also at the end of it, I got a orange sorbet and it was delicious. It was so good. And then we walked from there towards Leicester Square, I believe. I think we ended up taking a bus for a bit of the journey, but on the whole, we made our way towards Leicester Square and probably had something to eat, because then, my dears, you will know this already because you would have seen it earlier on in the vlog, but I went to see Next to Normal. I became obsessed with Next to Normal back in 2018, just as I was finishing up my time in Australia. And when I first heard it, I remember and when I first knew about it and everything, I just sobbed all the time. I just loved this show so much. It was so moving, it was so gorgeous, but I obviously didn't see it live or anything like that, but I was just so taken with it. And when a few years ago it announced it was coming to London, I could not believe it. I could not believe it, and I wanted to get an audition so bad, and I didn't, because Natalie is also one of my dream roles, but it's okay, it's fine. But then when it was on here, I was either in Greece or on the river cruise, or just anyway not here. And so I didn't get to see it, and it closed and I was so gutted. But then it came back and it opened about a week ago, and I knew I was going to go see it at some point. I was keeping it quite open-ended because I knew that I would just go when I could get either rush tickets or relatively cheap tickets from someone selling it on or giving it away or whatever. And I knew it was a show I would always, any day of the week, be willing to go see. But I was not expecting to go see it with my mum. During COVID, there was a recorded version at some point that was being shown, and I watched it with my parents saying, this is a musical, I love it, you know, it's one of my favourites, blah, blah, blah. And we watched it, and both of them at the end of it were like, we didn't love that. Now, admittedly, the version that we saw, I would agree, was not the strongest, but I was like, how can you say that? But since then, I was like, I'm definitely not going to bring my parents to see it again. And I'd mentioned it to my mum, the fact that it was on and that it had rush tickets, but I didn't encourage her to go see it because I thought I don't want to go see it and be disappointed again. But then my cousin the night before had said, I'm going to see it tomorrow. And so my mum was like, okay, let's see if we can get rush tickets. And let me tell you, it was a struggle to get rush tickets. And it took a while, but we got them. And we had really good seats, actually. Well, pretty good seats. And so we went. And I knew, I had tissues with me, I knew it was going to be an emotional one, but I don't think I was expecting to cry basically as soon as the first notes started playing. And it was just because this is a musical that does mean so much to me and has been, I guess in a way it was kind of the soundtrack to me finishing up in Australia and that period of leaving and saying goodbyes and moving on and, you know, that kind of thing, a big transitional period in my life. And so I think in part that probably hit me when the music started. And then I think the other side of it is just, this is a show I love and I'm finally getting to see it live and I can hear the orchestra right here in front of me and this is awesome. So yeah, it was great. Halfway through the first act, there was a show stop, and I don't think I've ever experienced a show stop before, but the actors were phenomenal. Like, you could see that they were sort of frozen in a position for a while, but we all just thought it was part of it. And then eventually someone came on and kind of shoot them off and said, we have to just make a stop. But it was handled brilliantly, and they came back on. It wasn't so long anyway, but they came back on and just kept going. But my goodness, my goodness, what they've done with the show. I mean, it's a strong show to begin with, and I don't feel like they've changed that much of the music or the lines or anything like that. I can speak. But just the way they've adapted it. Oh my goodness, brilliant. The sound design, excellent. The staging, excellent. The actors, like every part of it was just mind-blowingly good. And even my mum loved it. Like when we had the show stop in the first half of the first act, she turned to me and said, "This is incredible. Thank you for bringing me." So I was like, good. But she said at the end as well, she loved it, and that this is going to be, she said, like her Les Miserables, where every time she comes back to London, it's a show she wants to see. We didn't get to see it this time, unfortunately, but we saw lots of other new shows, so it's fine. But yeah, she really loved it, and I really loved it, and I cried a lot, but that's okay, that's allowed. And the Natalie was really good. Like, I can't deny that she was fantastic, but I just wish I could be her, or her understudy, or whatever. But alas, maybe another day. I think it's a show that will go to Australia, so maybe when it goes there, hopefully. So that was Monday. And then Tuesday, what did we do in the morning? I worked. That's why I can't think what we did. I worked. So I worked, and it was an early start on Tuesday. And I tried to get to work later than usual, but I still ended up earlier. So I don't know. So it was a very long day, very early start. And then I walked from work to meet up with my family in Leicester Square again, around that area, for supper. And that worked out pretty well with timing. I was a bit earlier than them, even though I thought I was going to be later. But mostly, I think it was about a 10-minute wait. And then we went to have supper, and it was a very disappointing supper for me. It was an Italian. On Monday night, we'd gone to Bella Italia, which was lovely, really good. We just ordered a bunch of starters to share. But then on Tuesday night, we went to, I don't know the name of it, but it was sort of on the other side of Leicester Square, although there's also a Bella Italia on that side. It's sort of just around the corner from the TGI Fridays, and it's on the left if you're walking from the TGI Fridays. And my mum and my grandma both had a salad and did really enjoy it. But I ordered, again, I thought, I'll get a few starters, one of which for me and the two others to share. And they were just really disappointing. Like, really disappointing. At least I could eat it. That was the only thing that was kind of going through my mind. I was like, at least I'm still eating, I'm still hungry, or full, sorry, but like, I'm not happy about it. But it was fine. We managed. Again, I ate, so, that's fine. Oh, it's warm. And then we went to see Boys from the Black Stuff. And this was a show my mum picked for the three of us. And it was something I knew nothing about except that it had good reviews. And it was really good. It's a play rather than a musical, but it was beautifully done. The actors were brilliant. The set, lighting, sound, maybe the sound the least, but it was still good, but everything else absolutely incredible. I wish more people went to see it. I don't know what the numbers are, but I thought it was so good, and they thought it was so good, and it was just brilliant. It was great. And now today is Wednesday, here we are, and I worked again this morning and then came home and had supper with my mum and my grandma, and now I'm hoping to finally watch some Marvel or Disney or whatever we're on, because obviously the last few days I've not been able to, and I warned my friend, I said, just so you know, this coming week I'm probably not gonna have any time to watch, but seeing as I do have a day, I may as well, even though I had hoped to edit a video, but it's all right. And tomorrow we're going out. I still don't really know where. They've tried to tell me, but I really don't know. But it should be a nice day. And then in the evening we've got a bar mitzvah celebration. And then Friday is my graduation, Friday morning, which is crazy. I am a bit nervous. I did have a dream last night where something went wrong. And that's a sign that, you're feeling nervous, or at least feelings about it. Whereas up until now, I've been very, I've not even thought about it. And I don't need to be nervous. I don't need to do anything, I don't think. But I don't know. I think it's because I have no concept of it. I have no idea how it's going to run, that I don't like that. But anyway, that's Friday morning, and then Friday night it'll be Shabbat. And actually we're having a lunch all together to celebrate my graduation, so that's nice. Friday night is Shabbat, Saturday morning we have, or lunch, we have another part of the bar mitzvah celebration, and then Saturday night my mum leaves, which I'm not looking forward to. But we've got a few more days before then. I will probably vlog tomorrow. I'll try and get some videos from my graduation. I won't film on Shabbat, obviously. And then that'll probably be the end of the vlog. When my mum goes, I think I'm going to end it there because I think this is already very, very long. I may split it. That's possible too. We shall see. And breathe. So that is all from me for now. And I will see you very soon, I'm sure. Bye! Oh, actually, forgot to mention, I had another audition that I did very panicked at like 11 o'clock on Monday night. And I got a call back for it today. So that was quite nice. It's nice to get a call back. It feels good. It's nice to feel I've managed to stand out and I'm good enough. Even if I don't go all the way, and I don't expect to at all, and I'm not even going to be so upset if I don't. I'm just really happy to have got this like recognition of, again, you do belong here and you are good enough. So yay, that's always nice. That feels good. Now that's it. Goodbye. Hello, I'm filming this clip out of order and I'm just going to tack it on wherever I decide to end this vlog. So if you're seeing me now, that means it's the end of this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. There will be a part 2 coming up next week probably, which I'm in the middle of filming. And thank you so much for watching. There's a bunch of stuff, as always, you can check out in the description if you'd like to. And I will see you all very shortly in another video. Bye!